Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you have, what are we, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. Lost track a little bit. A great Thursday today. We're a little bit late getting on. I was late getting in here today. Then we had people in and out from about the time I got here. But anyhow, Kelly had fish club today, so I kind of banned her on that. I was in Tulsa doing some more medical tests, so got all that done. I think that was the last one I had to do. So thank you all for praying for me for that. I think all that's behind me now, and I can keep moving on. So we'll be back in Romans 13 today. We've done verse 4 yesterday. The authorities are God's servants sent for your good, but if you do wrong, you should be afraid, for they have the power to punish you. They're God's servants sent for the very purpose of punishing those who do what is wrong. So again, we're talking about the governing authorities and the government, from military, law enforcement, all that, the court systems, judges, and those things. Now again, in this you have to remember this is physical stuff. This is not spiritual punishment. This is the governing authorities that are made out to keep our life hopefully sane and sound here the best that we can as we walk through this physical part of life. Now again, sometimes the governing authorities aren't just. Sometimes they are unjust and things like that. So again, this is, hopefully we have that. That's why again we should pray for our leaders in that, to pray for all those in authority over us and that, so that they will be good, moral, ethical, godly leaders. That ain't always the case, but that's what we can hope and pray for and do the best we can to serve under. So verse 5 is where we'll be today. So you must submit to them, not only to avoid punishment, but also to keep a clear conscience. And so again, this word submit does not mean that you bow down and worship the ground they walk on, like people in the Bible have been asked to do, and they refused, got thrown into prisons, got beat, got tortured, those things like that. That is not what this is talking about. Submission is that you recognize their role. It's from the president. I know some people like President Biden, some people don't. Right. Some people liked President Trump, some people didn't. Some people liked President Obama, some people didn't. And you can just keep going back to the Bush years, the Clinton years, and the Reagan years, on back to John F. Kennedy, whatever. Everybody, like them or not. Our country always is pretty much 50-50 split in what they like, Democrat, Republican. But we're not talking about a Democratic Party. We're talking about our governing authorities, from our local law enforcement to our county law enforcement to our state to our local municipalities that may have a judge just handing out traffic tickets or fines or whatever there, to the county level if you got to go see that the DA is prosecuting or assistant district attorney, then on up to the state level, then on up to the federal level, whatever it may be. But again, this is physical stuff, and it said we must submit to them, one, to avoid punishment. People get mad. You pull over somebody for speeding, you're doing 75 in a 55, and then you're all bent out of shape. Well, guess what? That they don't set that speed limit, the law enforcement. It may be in town, it may come from their city council folks, or if it's a county, from the county folks, or the state highway from the state legislature. That's why they're called law enforcement. They don't make the rules, they just do the best they can to enforce them. Kelly's been in, her dad was in the Air Force as law enforcement as far as that, and then in the civilian life over at, how long was your dad chief over there?
23 years.
So a long time. A long time. In that. So she grew up in that and understands that. So again, if you want to, if we get this, it said they're sent to do good, but also to bring punishment. And again, so we need to submit to them to avoid that. So if you drive, and I'm not saying every police officer out there is good, because there's some that's not. Just like preachers, not every preacher that is good. Unfortunately in the church, you see pastors, molesting kids or doing things they shouldn't be, youth pastors, children's workers, all the time. Just because they hold the office of that don't mean they're right.
Right.
But if it's not our job then to try to distinguish that, so we'll have court systems and all that in, but to do the best that we can to submit to those government authorities until their physical laws cross over into violating the spiritual laws in that. But what I want to talk about today is that we keep a clear conscience. We know how to avoid punishment, just don't break the law. You don't want a speeding ticket? Don't speed.
Right.
You don't want a failure to yield. Don't fail to yield. Or whatever. You don't want a DUI? Don't drive drunk. Pretty simple. But the conscience side of it, a lot of times people, the enemy, then not necessarily so much physical, but will start to use that in their conscience. So if we know, because like today, if the police come and knocked on the door, said, hey, what are you going on? I'm sitting there, I ain't got no illegal drugs in here. You don't need a search warrant. Come look. I don't give a dang. Right. Whatever. I ain't got nothing in here to hide or whatever. So Kelly, what's some things do you use to, one, to make sure that you're keeping a clear call on the physical side, not the spiritual side of things, but the physical side of things?
Well, I try not. I obviously have a lead foot. I try not to speed, but I do. And then I feel bad when I see an accident, and I'm like, oh, I could have caused. Not that I did cause an accident, but I could have if I would just slow down and drive properly. And I keep
Like
all of
following
those,
too closely.
like following too closely, or anything like that. I don't follow too closely.
I didn't say you did. I said, why? Is that a guilty conscience?
There we go.
Okay.
Maybe so.
All right, I just said that. I just threw that out there.
But I mean, just truly, just trying to obey all the laws. It's not just the traffic laws. It's I need to not write a hot check, and I need to not steal from somebody. When I went to get pop today for the fish club, I went to grab a thing of Pepsi, and it had been open, and somebody had taken some out of it. And I'm like, why, people? Why you got to do that? And so I had to take it up there, give it to the lady. I'm like, somebody opened this, somebody took it. But, I mean, just trying to obey all the laws. Sometimes that's hard because some of the laws are, you can always go look at the crazy laws. Like in the state of Oklahoma, a man and a woman can't eat off the same hamburger. Weird. There are some weird laws.
Yeah, that is weird.
But, I mean,
There's some about bathwater. I saw some of the crazy laws. You can't, only 3 people, you have to change the bathwater after 3 people.
Oh, I don't know anything about
some
that.
of that personal.
I mean, there are some crazy laws, but it's just trying to be honorable and have integrity even when nobody is looking. I did watch a lady steal a purse the other day, and I said something to the clerk, and she's like, "We can't do anything about it." I said, "You just have to let them steal from you? I wouldn't be able to do that." And she said, "We're not allowed to do anything." Yeah. And I just can't. So no wonder she got away with stealing that. She's going to come back and steal something else because she got away with it. When we get away with things, we get more bold and more bold and more bold and more bold. Yeah. And we're just going to keep doing it until we get stopped.
Eventually it will. Eventually, at some point in time, they're going to get.
But I mean, I feel like when there's no punishment, there's no fear of, if we were in a European country where they can cut your hands off for stealing, maybe we would think a little bit about that.
And a lot of this in the learning to submit to the government, obey the government, starts when they're kids.
Yes.
It starts. We don't do very severe discipline at school. We just kick them out now. Yeah. They're not made to. We had to pick up trash, clean classrooms, or we may get SWATs or whatever, and things like that, and we've become so soft and disciplined in our country.
Did.
Now we've got these people that don't think nothing because they have no conscience, so they keep a clear conscience. Their conscience are seared because Romans talks about when people get a seared conscience, bad things happen. Right. And that's where we're at now, that the government authorities, and then they're kind of so hands off on stuff today about there's no, you take a juvenile offender and you deal with them harshly when they're a kid. Hopefully, you're not going to fix everybody, 'cause some people just they're just hell-bound. I mean, they're just bent on that.
Right.
But God gives them every chance to show His love and His grace and His mercy. But also, we're so lax in our juvenile system today with these kids running their mouth to teachers and back-talking, being disrespectful.
And it starts at a very young age.
It does. They'll start down there in the pre-K level a lot of times.
My daughter teaches 3s and 4s, and she sent me a picture today. She got punched in the face. And all they can do is just write up a report and, try and cause a paper trail. But they can't even kick the little kid. They can't even say you can't come back for a week or anything like that. So that little kid's just going to keep doing that because he knows there is no repercussion for what he's done. He gets to keep doing that. And then what are we teaching our children by allowing that?
Yeah, and used to, and back in the day, if you just like that in school, Mom and Dad, you don't have to worry about school punishment because Mom and Dad's going to be dealing with that quickly, severely, and hard. You ain't going to want to go do that again. You wouldn't even think about it. Right. We took guns to school. Our principal, light guns and engraved, it's not engraved, there's a name for that he did. Scrimshaw, I think. Scrimshaw, is that right? Is that a word? Mm-hmm. I think it was Scrimshaw stuff, scrolling things on some stuff. And, we'd go down a lot of times on lunch hour and go shoot. We had a full hour lunch. Our campus was open. Yeah. But we knew if you pointed that gun or did something stupid, you might be eating that thing when you got home.
Right.
We just didn't. I'm not saying that we was little angels because we wasn't. We did some dumb, crazy stuff. But we didn't tear nobody's stuff up. We didn't vandalize nothing. And if somebody was doing it, we'd go stop them.
Right.
And today we're just so lax in things, and even the government. So if they're going to sure enough make parents lax in that, the government really needs to step up
Right.
and do what this Romans 13 says. And where a lot of parents, and unfortunately a lot of Christians want to go sing Kumbaya on this stuff, well, go read Romans 13. They're there to punish people.
Right.
And that's why we submit to that. And this, again, is a physical part. This ain't spiritual. It's physical in that. Right. So go back and check this out. Again, make sure you're keeping a clear conscience. Make sure you don't have a seared conscience like Romans talks about, that Paul's talking about in the first part. We are in Romans, but in the first part of that,
right.
the first couple chapters there. So check that out. So God bless y'all. I appreciate everybody that was out here with their kids last night. I wasn't here, but just a few minutes. So last night, so appreciate everybody that stepped up, all the help on the van. We had extra help on the van.
Nice.
We appreciate that dearly and greatly on that. Got them all fed, got them all done. I didn't see any problems from that last night. Again, I wasn't hearing much of it, so thank everybody that come out and dealt with that. Night. So Kelly got Fish Club done today in there at Oilton with those kids, so we're very thankful for that. And then we don't have anything left on the calendar this week. Church on Sunday, Lord willing, on the 22nd, 9 and 11 o'clock service. At the second service, we'll be having a safety team meeting, and then elders and deacons, will be in here at 4 o'clock on that.
And then women's meeting at 6 o'clock, and we're going to be meeting in the multi-purpose building. So if you want to come out and enjoy that, please do.
So that is all going on Sunday. So ladies, mark down, invite somebody if you've been coming at 6 o'clock on Sunday, and then they'll be meeting again on Wednesday mornings at what time?
10:30.
10:30 on Wednesday. So that's weekly now for you ladies. Men, Lord willing, we'll have our men's meeting 7 o'clock Monday night. So today's my daughter's birthday.
Yes.
I'm not big on the Facebook she put, so I'm sure if you're on Facebook you saw that. So happy birthday, Caitlin. She's the big 26 years old. Makes me feel old, I feel like I ought to be about 14 or 15, but so hope she has a great day. Tomorrow's Connor's birthday. We run into Ashley Casey at Manford on the way back.
Birthday.
Today's Ashley's birthday, and we said, hey, Ashley, oh yeah, I remember I was 15 years old when Caitlin was born. She's 26. It makes me feel old. So then tomorrow will be Connor's. They should have actually been born on the same day, but the doctor we had at that point in time was a little lax on that, and I had to have a literal face-to-face, nose-to-nose meeting with him, and they went in there then and right after midnight, about 1 in the morning, and cut Connor out on the 20th, or he had been born on the 19th, and somebody asked me, well, how does that work? I said, it's good. I only got to see the in-laws once, because we still, that was a joke. Got me in a lot of trouble saying that, but anyhow, his birthday's tomorrow, so if you're in the Oilton around, you'll see him probably on duty, or he will be on duty tomorrow.
Yes, he will be.
So it'll be his birthday tomorrow, so we'll wish him happy birthday on the broadcast. We can get it on. We never know. We try to get on there live, and sometimes we don't.
Tomorrow's going to be a busy day. We got to go up and get hamburger meat from
that's right.
Wild Country, and we've got to go make that deposit. We got a busy day
yeah,
tomorrow.
we'll be running around a little bit tomorrow.
Busy.
So anyhow, God bless y'all.
Yes.
Hope you have a great Thursday. Remember, it's faith over fear and Christ over crisis, and you can remain calm in the chaos.